Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of Troy Talks Life. Troy Talks Life is going to be a weekly podcast talking about self exploration and some truths that I've learned from my own life. There's a lot to learn. This episode is called the Subtraction Equation. Let's check it out. Last episode, we talked about how we are trees and how rocks represent the most consistent parts of our personality and how we need to discover them, grab onto them before we even start to grow. Today, I'm going to use a concept that I made called the Subtraction Equation to hopefully find some of those rocks in your life as you approach change. I believe that you don't need to meditate on top of a mountain to be given the message of who you are. And anyways, who likes sitting uncomfortably in the same place for long periods of time? Let's be real. Who you are is more like a map that everyone helped you draw, and you have to constantly look back to it, and you're discovering new parts. Here all the countries may change, but the land that the map represents is almost never moves. So this is where we can use consistencies to help us better understand our own self map. So the subtraction equation is a concept I developed believing that outside exploration can aid inner exploration by means of awareness of those consistencies in personality. And basically, you're a mindless habitual zombie that when reacting to a change in your environment tend to carry over some unique reactions that could aid to better your understanding of yourself. So the equation is simple. Who you are during a change in environment minus who you were when in your comfort zone gives us some things that cross over between the event. From here, we can then analyze our perspectives of self before change with our new understandings and actually feel our results rather than just have assumptions about how we react. To add, I don't believe an environment of change has to be extreme, such as, quitting your job, leaving your spouse. But it definitely needs to be out of your comfort zone to be able to accentuate your most consistent attributes. I want to bring you back to the fall of 2014 when I was accepted as an exchange student at the business school in Shanghai, China. I could barely speak Mandarin, knew very little about Chinese, and have never even lived in a different country before. So arriving, I struggled so much, but I noticed that no matter what I did, I managed to find a way to quickly meet friends, learn the language, order food, and find an incredible job as a nightclub promoter. I was faced with an environment of extreme change, and when I started to realize who I was in that moment, I could see how so many new perspectives were developing, yet I still seemed to manifest beautiful situations by continuing to be social, curious, funny, caring, and helpful as a person. I noticed that carried over in this new chapter of life. I'm filing paperwork for study abroad programs in Barcelona, Spain, and after I find out that I was accepted, that would mean a second extreme change in environment, back to back, to occur the following semester. There in Spain, I decided to analyze all my experiences in China and share them with all of the new people I met. I still realized that everything I was doing was linked to my socialness, my curiousness, funny, caring, and helpful personality. I noticed that was consistent in China. I have to recommend you guys the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I think this book lets you ask and answer some deeper questions, and you can get similar results to my method, the subtraction equation. One of her techniques, though, is an exercise called the morning pages, where you wake up every morning and you write 3 pages of whatever is on your mind, even if you can't. So by 3 months, you have this huge notebook filled with a direct stream of your consciousness. This also leads me, I just finished another book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and would totally recommend picking this one up. Her approach is turning into source energy, this concept of the one consciousness, living in the now and loving yourself. And without understanding habit, I don't think we fully understand what living in the now is. So I totally recommend Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. If you want to learn about how much of a habitual zombie you really are, as I was mentioning, and how to overcome it. So next week, we are going to talk about manifesting your dreams. After you figure out where you are right now, your point A, that's when you need to know how to approach point B. So head down to your library, grab those books, set up an environment, a change in your life, dare yourself to do it. Get out there and start to realize who you are. So for now, stay tuned to soundcloud.com/Troy Talks, my YouTube channel, or check me out at troysegala.com. Thanks. Troy Talks Life.